When it's come to Dr. Baban Ingole, I think he is a lighthouse for our new generation, as his entire journey of life gives us a new strength to take new challenges. Ever since I first heard about him while I was at MSc in 1999, I have had a strong desire to see him. Their visit helped me to determine my future direction. I think an ordinary peasants were born thousands of kilometers away from the sea, but he has mastered the whole ocean with his skill. Not only that, but he has also proudly hosted the Indian tricolor across the Antarctic region. We are always proud of him.
From Antarctic to deep sea polymetallic nodules mining to mitigation effects of oil exploration in Bombay High to coastal zone for biodiversity hotspots, conservation and productivity, and then enhancing the aquacultural productivity. So it's a very dynamic field, and I'm sure you must be a busy man. You also have a amazingly reputable scientific credibility through your research publications. Talk about the challenges in ensuring that your research work is genuine, it's of high quality, and it has both scientific and social relevance.
It is tough, no doubt about it. I feel it, I have learned so many things in the life, and one of the thing is you have to be choosy about your research topic. You have to select the topic and look at the potential it has got for the society. It has to be from the beginning itself, not necessarily it is the very high-fi science you are looking at it, or you are looking at making the impact from the beginning itself. But you should be looking at how useful it will be there once it is successful to the society. I'll give an example. I forgot about mentioning it, that almost at the end of my research career, I did one project, and that project is so helpful now. It is called the Biodiversity of Angria Bank. And as we all know that Angria Bank is just in the backyard of the India, of between Mumbai and Ratnagiri, around 100 kilometers in the deep sea it is there. That area lying so close, but it was not at all explored, or not about exploration was not at all done it in terms of the resources. And I could, I had to struggle it, but ultimately the important is, selecting the topic. So I selected that one, proposed it to the government of Maharashtra, government of India, and pursued it along with the director NIO, and made it almost 1 year's effort to get the funding, appropriate funding for that. And the results today we have got such a that NIO was the first to get it the detailed mapping of the Angria Bank about the both coral resources, about the biodiversity, and subsequently that is the only area India is proposing to declare as the marine protected offshore MPS. And it is very useful. The documentary which my group, we made it, presented to the ministry subsequently presented at United Nations, and is very useful to say that how much India is putting efforts for conserving the biodiversity. So impact, that is what I was saying. It is not an impact factor, but impact it is making on the society and helpful to the country. Simultaneously, you need to also publish your research result in very good research journal. Now, when you have to publish it, you have to see from the beginning itself, your experiments are properly planned, not only executed, but planning. Maybe simple experiment, but the data generated generated should be replicable. And once all these things is done, any good journal will accept it. So your impact factor also is assured if you do your planning, selection of the topic, planning of the experiment, getting the replicable results, and then interpretation of the result to help the, to defend your hypothesis. There's another important thing is I thought about. Today we have got, people talk about it, but this is, I'm talking from my experience, I may be wrong. We do have it both internationally and nationally, funding problems. However, if there is a good research problem, and if the good research problem is dealing with the lowest person of the, or section of the society, and you are trying to address their problem, I'm not talking about success of the problem. If you are trying to address the problem, what they are facing, I'm sure the funding will be available.
So let's just talk about the most challenging moment.
The most challenging thing in my life is when I lost, my late wife Chaya. She was the pillar behind me, and my most of the success was definitely, because of her. Full credit goes to her. I was almost every year 6 months away, either in the sea or somewhere out of India, and she was the one who has brought up beautiful family. She was the one who gave her entire life to the children and me. And when I lost her, I was totally collapsed. It was not a physically visible, but internally, I was trying to show it very, bold face to the society, but I was really collapsed, and that was challenging moment to come out of this, and it will remain to be a challenging moment for me.
Yes, the mention of Chayavani does make many of us emotional, and especially someone like me who had that opportunity to interact with both of you, with two young kids, almost over a decade. An amazing woman in her own right. Did Baban Ingole today feel that this is a talent that has not recognized, or this is a talent that has not been put into the use as it might have been? And I'm talking about some of the missing professional opportunities that many people who in our assessment may not have as much of talent, charisma, experience, have been pulled up by the system to greatest places that probably many of us surprised. Do you think your intellect, your experience has not been utilized by the nation as much as it could be utilized even now?
To be frank with you, Vishwas, I never thought from that point of view. I thought I have got enough opportunities to express myself. I thought if there is some failure, it probably could have been because of my, own approach. Not that I did not get opportunities. I must have not used those opportunities, properly. So it probably this is my personal, honest opinion about me, that I have definitely got it, more than probably what I deserve it. If somewhere I have failed it, probably it was my failure, not the system failure, or not the, somebody else, this thing. However, I do agree with you that if the system, we could put it together and put it, the person identify his potential and use it at the right moment, you could get much better results. But then again, I don't want to blame anybody.
No, we are not talking this to blame anything. we are simply talking this from a point of improving it. There is a potential to improve, because look, it was my personal dream to see you as a director of the institutions where you served, or to see you somewhere as a vice chancellor, or to see you somewhere leading or establishing a new institution. Because those of us who know you personally, we know that you have all that is required to be at the helm of the affairs. And we also know that you don't believe in a godfather system. There are clans in science, there are groups in science, and you doesn't tend to be part of any one of them. Somewhere down the line, don't you think that there is a need to enhance our science productivity performance matrix, so such that the talent that is not associated with A group or B group simply can be picked up based on his or her own merit?
I do agree, and I got it your point in the beginning itself, but I was, that I was trying to avoid all those things. I don't want to again, bring those things. Yes, globally also, because I have been interacting with different group of scientists in different part of US or UK or rest of the Asia. There are the groups, yes. The problem with Indian system, our groups are more active towards the political thing than the actual science, and therefore those groups are responsible for diminution of some of the good science in India. And let us talk very clearly about it. There are the people who are planting the people and promoting them when they are not deserving it. Yes, there are those are the facts out there, and people may not like to talk about it. People may not accept it openly, and they will say that if somebody who has not got the success, they will talk about it. I'm not neither in that one. So I'm just talking because I have gone through all those things. You also probably must have gone those things. But yes, if you get it, good people at good time at the leading the particular programs. I'm not talking about results can be much better, and we have seen about those some of the things, how effective it can be if you have a good effective leader. And I have done my inning very well. I am here to serve the country. Right now I am doing it in the capacity of visiting scientist at the National Institute of Polar and Ocean Research. As you know, that continuing mentoring the student, and that is my hobby. I would like, because I'll be student for entire life. But if I have something to offer to the young generation, I always will be available. But yes, we need to think back about the Indian science and its, so that we will be compatible. People will not accept it, but in most of the areas, I'm not saying A, B, C, most of the areas, our science is not a leading science. We are doing good, but again, it will not be the leading. We are following the science. That is what the difference is.
And you have rightly nailed it into the coffin. Your statement is very interesting to me, because you know that I have 3 decades of work into data science, and I look at data. Data always speaks truth. It always speaks of clarity. It always speaks of transparency and the quality. And you have therefore made a very interesting observation that we are not leading science, we are following science with few exceptions, definitely. Why do you think we as a research community, we as a nation, are into the syndrome of following and not leading?
From my point of view, we are not encouraging our young people to take the risks, to take the challenge. See, when you will get the new discovery, when only if you take the risk, because when there is 100% risk, people will put 200% into that one to show that it is a success, and that is how you will get the new science from that, or new results from that one, because somebody is putting 200% to prove that they are right. And when you are putting 200% of those results, what you are getting, you can replicate hundreds times, because you're day and night looking at this. And this, at the young age, we have to identify the people and encourage them to take the risk. Take their ideas. See, those are the ideas. You have to, those are budding ideas. You have to groom them. You have to support them. And out of the 100 ideas, even if you take 50 of that to support it, and from that 50, even if one you get it successful, that is the scale I am looking at, 1%. That 1% is going to be new research. So we need to see that as a country, people always talk about we don't have funding, this funding. How much money we are spending in duplicating of the science? If we stop that duplicating of science, there will be enough money available to do the good science. But nobody is looking at the duplicating of science, because there we are just following it. That's what I mean, we are following it. And in every university, in every institutions you go, there will be parallel. Within the institutions, there will be parallel group doing the same thing. This doesn't happen in the the Western world.
I think we have been as free and as open as we could be. It is not easy to have a very prolific and dynamic research career and to raise two very beautiful kids who are individuals in their own right today. And obviously, you have acknowledged the role that Chaya Vaini has played in their upbringing. But then I would like to shift from you and Vaini to kids. How was it to be a parent of those kids and to see them growing and establishing in their own right where they are today?
My kids are my friend, actually. My from the beginning itself. And we, as I told you, that most of the upbringing, it has been done by Chaya. So for me, whenever I am at home, I was a friend for me. My daughter is the elder one, and she has been very possessive. So she is like a motherly figure for me, although she is my daughter. Whereas my son is my friend, very close friend. So I can talk to him, freely.
If you have to advise the upcoming scientific temperament or a mind in the country or elsewhere, what are the key qualities of an innovator or a researcher? What
I have seen over a period of time, in the recent time, is there are very good youngsters. However, not all, but there are, in majority, they're looking for the quick results, which is, probably is a demand, the need of the hour as far as their personal career is concerned. In research field, you cannot get good result quickly. You have to struggle for those, moment, get those good results, and the interpretation of those results. I personally feel it that grooming of science in India has not taken as a career type. We need to engage our elders in most of the countries like Japan or USA or UK, Australia, all different fields, the retired good scientists, I'm not saying all, the people who have established and prove themselves, we need to find out some ways to retain them as long as they are available. But in majority cases, those are, not given the proper opportunity to, they are ready to express, they are ready to help. Most of them, they don't need much money also. They require only respect. Most of the cases. So why not use them? Make them, allow them in the universities, allow them in the institutions to come and work as long as they want to work. They have the capabilities of attracting the funds both nationally and internationally. Select those only who can get the funds, who can get the offer themselves, give the knowledge to the youngsters, groom them. I think so. People is there, we are doing it again. We are doing it, but we are doing again selectively, because I know you, you know me, and therefore I will be recommending you. That doesn't help the society.
You are right. See, I was just interviewing Professor Kamal Bawa, a very distinguished professor in biology at University of Massachusetts, Boston. He's 82. He's 82. Okay? And he's as active as 18-year-old can be.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sure,
that's what.
Given your dynamism, given your experience, and you are just one of many, you are representative. And that's exactly what my point was, Baban, that we are not tapping the experience and putting them with the youngsters. Okay? And that is the exact point that I was making when I said, don't you think that the nation has failed or missed for a longer period of time to use right talent at right position?
Agree with you. Yes.
How is life at home? Because I think on a companionship level, you are also having a second inning. That aspect and the life in general now at home in Goa. And it's a beautiful home.
Thank you, Vishwas. Again, back about my post-retirement. I am physically more busy than I was earlier, because I have to daily drive about 2 hours from my residence to the Antarctic Research Station, or National Polar Research Institute at Vasco. I also like gardening. As you know that I am coming from the farmer's family, and therefore gardening has been my hobby. So I do it. I used to do it when I was staying even in the colony. Then now I have moved to a small independent house. And then I have, again, my favorite hobby is swimming. As far as my wife is concerned, she is very good, taking care of us, and good person as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so happy with generally overall.
What are the 5 success principles of Baban Ingole's success in life?
Honesty, hard work, try to identify the people, don't trust blindly. Another aspect what I would say is, don't run after the money. If you are following this earlier what I said, hard work, honestly, and set your goal and chase that goal, money will chase you.
It has been an amazing time in having this dialogue with you. And for me personally, it is a mark of a respect to a great friend and an amazing researcher in my own assessment. So thank you very much for being my guest on this episode of Vishwas in Conversation.
Thank you, Vishwas, for inviting me for this conversation. Vishwas, I know you from your student days until today. So if I have to be honest with you, I can describe, for me, Vishwas is a very dynamic, hardworking and ambitious person. He will not give it the thing so easily. He will chase it till he gets the desired result. I'm not saying result, till he gets the desired result. And that is a good quality of a hardworking person, that you should not give up midway. You should look for the result, and result also what you decide. So that's what Vishwas is for me.
Hope you have subscribed to this channel, and if you have not, then kindly do subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell button.